Now that you've been in the process of building, it'll make more sense, some of the terminology that you'll be coming across. So you've come across Sketch. And here Sketch is 2D, and that's the base level in which you're building something. You do an initial sketch or drawing, and then you do the extrude, and you make it into a 3D structure. And any time then you start adding to it, you have to then go back to usually sketch, draw it, and then you make it into a 3D. When you go, I'm going to show you some more of the terminology. After you make it 3D, such as, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off over here. How about I turn that wheel off, and I turn, which one? How about right here? There. Okay, so here's the body, okay? And so this is the main body that you actually developed. And then everything else, kind of, you try and get as much done and build off that main body. So that initial sketch means a lot before you go ahead and you start creating the 3D image, which in this case is the body that we developed. Then from there, anything that we went ahead and we would continue to add to that body, such as, let me see if I can turn off one of them. When we went ahead and made these wheel holes, well, those were just additional sketches that were made and adding to the primary body. I'm going to turn the axle back on. Then when we went ahead and we started adding to this axles and wheels, I'd call these components. They're separate from the primary body. And you know from past experience, when you go to print, you're going to be printing the body by itself, the axles by themselves, and the wheels by themselves. We're not sending to the printer all three in this form. They'll actually be broken up. They can be on the same printer, but the axles will be flat on the plate being printed by the printer. The wheels will be flat on the plate being printed by the printer, and the body will be flat on the plate. And then we go ahead and assemble all of them together. So that's why I would call, here's the main initial body. You could almost call it one component. And then here's another body over here. That's a component. And then there's the wheels themselves. That's another component. And that's how I actually think of it. Anytime you go, you're doing anything that can stand alone on its own, then that I would call a component. As you're building, you're going to see the terminology of face. I would call, there's a face, there's a face, there's a face. And as we go through and you're building, I'll go ahead and introduce you to other terminology. But I hope this truly helps you as you're trying to make sense of all the different features that are being presented to you as you're building. I hope this helps.